call upon the ancestors of blood, land, and spirit, of all who share this journey with me, for guidance through this month of July 2023. The cards have been cleansed and sanctified. They have been awakened, and breath has been blown into them to connect spirit to spirit. Let's see what they have to say. Sun, withered woman of the harvest kiss. I don't think we've had her before. Let's see what lesson she has for us. Heart of the Life Clan and the South Weavers. Card 24 is the Sun, weathered woman of the harvest kiss. She destroys the old dance of the land. Her yarn. There was a summer woman who was not meadow sweet or blossom bright. She was severe and strode with serious purpose along the brilliant edge of life and through the harvest fields. She was not one of those warm weather women who gathered to dance, hey nonny nay, in flimsy lace amid the cloves. She did not smile as swallows curved through the morning blue, or sunlight woven into streams. No, this summer woman was a killer to the very heart. She walked through meadow, vineyard, orchard, and garden, wherever the sun had dominion over the landscape, wherever intense heat beat a wild tattoo upon the baked or steamy earth. She arrived abruptly through the softening drift of summer days, smelling of oily thyme and salty beads of amber sweat. There she stood, in the fullest of the year, amid the peak of plenty, the culmination, the ripening, when the season was heavy with honey, fruit, and corn, and all the people knew her as the destroyer, for that is what she did year after year. She enacted the ritual of the harvest sacrifice, the divine primal mystery that ran deep beneath the cultivated soil. She walked to the center of the billowing corn. She was magnificent and she was merciless. She held a short sickle by her side. She called the sickle her harvest kist, and when she turned it slowly in her hand, it flashed gold light among the fields, and the people were drawn to gather there. In that moment, the land stopped breathing. Everything was still, even the corn, even the insects, even the rustling voles, even the dipping swallows. Now a fiery beast was drumming in her burning heart. Her power was ascending. It was as it was held the entire universe gripped between her thighs. When she raised her arms, swung her hips, and the harvest kiss descended swiftly over and again. She became a dusty column of falling corn. She was unsparing in her cutting down, in her relentless destruction of the old dance of the land. She leveled the field and claimed back the grain. She felled the maturing harvest in its prime. The sun turned through a full day as she moved through this ancient legend of sacrificial corn. Eventually, she stepped back from the fallen stalks. The golden day was active again as elements and creatures were released from her hypnotic spell. Now the rain could sing, the breeze could sigh, The earth could whisper, and the sun, of course, could initiate a new and fertile dance across those lands. The destroyer's corn sacrifice was an acknowledgement of the fierce, protecting, procreative, life-enabling fires of the sun. And that was the warmth that would linger in people's memories when the summer was done. Her braid. There is no avoiding the searing efficiency of the harvest kiss. In daily life as well as in the end of summer meadow, a traveling woman's path is seeded by her experiences, grown fertile through what she has learned and gathers to her on the way. When a rich crop of wisdom, knowledge, insight, and creativity reaches maturity, it needs to be harvested and shared. What use is all this wealth if it is not cut, but left to wither on the stalk? Such abundance might feed the lives of others with plenty to go round. A woman with full fields should not hesitate to wet the harvest sick. In this way, the traveler will enter the rite of the end of summer sacrifice. It may not be an easy matter to cut down what she has cultivated so carefully through the long seasons, but through the constant dropping of fruit, casting of seeds, emptying of flour, nature enacts this ritual endlessly, and each traveler in her prime will eventually be part of it. Her harvest offers become the nutrients that nourish other women's paths. This is the old dance of the land, danced for the benefit of everyone. Without it, there is no space for newly interpreted, different-shaped dances. The humility dance by older women becomes the generosity bestowed onto their younger sisters. The enthused reels of freshly minted dancers are the gratifying crop of women who have known the old dance of the land. Her cloth. When the days are gold and the hives are full, we will know that it is time has to make warm spells to bless the harvest. Summer always ends for us within a honey dance. As summer's spellbinders, we seek our ingredients in abundant meadows and fruity, heavy orchards. A blend of spontaneity and contemplation is intrinsic to our recipe. Our potions will be garnered from the aromatic colors and amber sounds of nature as she ripens. But first, we set the dance in motion. The steps are age-old and tempered by the memories of women who have prayed with their feet like this since the first ever threshing of wild grains. We start to move our hips like swaying boughs, to shake our hair like undulating grasses. Our music lifts and coils around the gardens. We breathe a hymn of flowers and herb and hive across the fields. We slide through songs of streams and pools and dew pond as we linger in the pastures. We stoop to drink from dripping wells. Through long melodic insect days, our dance is played out beneath the sun. Our skin is clothed by evening breezes and our eyes are blessed by soft morning rain. By now our hair is braided through with seeds and secret sweetness. The earth has given plenty to feed this bright life dance. We gather this feast of nature into our laps and bind our spells to catch the essence of these days. We make courageous oils, consoling ointments, cheery infusions, and a remedy in which the sun itself is suspended, ready to discharge remembered heat into wintry bones. At last we sip a little honey from the comb and seal the potency of our warm summer spell. And so endeth the lesson. I can't tell you how amazing it felt to charge the camera, sit in ritual for you guys one more time, and do this reading. Normally I would include my thoughts on this, but to be honest, there are so many. I did have a chuckle near the end where she speaks of making the salves and tinctures and oil infusions, because that's very much what I've been doing and will be doing throughout the summer. But I like this card because it does remind me that there's purpose to the turning of the wheels. There's purpose for the sun, and to some degree the heat, but she also has a destructive force, and there must be a balance within it for the harvest to be ripe. I'm really always curious what your takeaway is from the reading and what energies and thoughts you will push forward into July with from this reading. I also want to say a very deep gratitude for those who, although I've not been posting, have been sticking by. I've reached out to several personally and been working with a few individually, but I miss the group, and I'm glad to be back, and I'm really glad to have all of you here with me that have stayed by me. Now, just to get things moving along, if you've listened to this part or this far in, I will make some of the Patreon content public on YouTube just for a little while so that people can see what we share together here and what I offer. But eventually they will go private links again. I have a few plans and I'm trying to figure out the order in which to share them. I think a bonus content that's going to come up is how I do my nightly ritual. I've created a really pretty Book of Shadows PDF for you guys, which I'll link up. It'll probably be next weekend, and I want to include sort of a, this is how I do it. This is how we do it. Okay, well, and also to say that there is absolutely no right way to do a nightly ritual other than the way that feels right for you. And I know that we can all inspire each other. So I'm going to share the breakdown of the components of my ritual as well as the ritual itself, just in case there's an aspect of it that you're like, hey, this could really benefit me. I'm going to incorporate that. And if you do, please let me know. It's always great to share. And if you have any ways that you would like to share your nightly rituals, I'm always up for it, because I don't really know a lot about people's individual practices, and I'm always here for it. As long as we keep respectful of each other's thought processes, spiritual journeys, all of these things, you know my rules. Simply deleted, no questions asked, if anyone comes at anybody in my comments. So we're gonna call this a take, and I hope that you've enjoyed the reading as much as I've enjoyed doing it for you, and I can't wait to hear your takeaway. Have a great long weekend for those of you in North America. Know that we're celebrating Canada Day today on July 1st, and I know my friends south of the border will be enjoying Independence Day on the 4th. And if there's any other celebrations from around the world that you are enjoying this weekend, please share them in the comments below and how you like to celebrate them. For now, I bid you adieu. With much love and gratitude, Namaste and Blessed Be.